The time has come for the ultimate ranking. You have people ranking all 22 MCU movies. That's baby stuff. Yeah, it's time to get our game face on, and let's combine the Infinity Saga and the 7 DCEU films and bring them together at last and rank them all worst to best. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my ultimate ranking. Now take a look at the wall behind me. See right here? This is a Marvel wall. See right here? This is a DC wall. See this little divider here? Just pretend that divider's not there, because what I'm doing on this channel now is taking these worlds and I'm bringing them together. Because, while the DCEU has been a roller coaster, ups and downs for me, I still love the DCEU. And the MCU? Yeah, it's had some weak moments too, but I love the MCU. I love both, and there's nothing wrong with that. So for this ultimate ranking, I'm taking the Infinity Saga, Iron Man through Endgame, and the DCEU, Man of Steel through Shazam, bringing it together in one ultimate Marvel and DC ranking, because I love both. So, let's kick this off and rank them worst to best. Coming in for me at number 29. Oh my gosh, that's 29 movies. Suicide Squad. I don't know what else to say about this movie that I haven't already said in a DCEU ranking. It's just not that great of a movie to me. I mean, first off, the Joker, he should have been the main villain. Secondly, Jared Leto's Joker, I'd like to say that I would like him, or I'd like to say that I don't like him. I'm leaning towards not liking his Joker, but if I'm gonna be perfectly honest, there's just not enough of him, and that was the big problem with this movie. The moment Joker came in, he should have taken over the whole thing. Highlights of the movie, Margot Robbie and Will Smith. I thought they did great in their roles, and we watched the DCU with Suicide Squad, and once again, I loved their performances, and they truly were the highlights of the movie. But overall, you just feel that movie is pretty darn rushed, and it's just, you can just tell David Ayer didn't have all the time he needed to really write this movie the way that it should have been written. 28, Thor, The Dark World. 27, Justice League, and 26, Thor Ragnarok. Now, Justice League and Ragnarok are like right here on this list for me because, they came out the same summer, and I saw them both really close to each other. And I gave Thor Ragnarok the edge because, honestly, as much as I may have talked about Thor Ragnarok on this channel, and you've probably heard me talk about how that movie had a lack of balance to me. It's not that I disliked the slapstick, it was pretty funny. And while I was watching Thor Ragnarok on the big screen, I was laughing and I was enjoying the comedy. But at the same time, there was so much heavy stuff going around. Thor loses his dad, Thor loses his friends. I mean, so much stuff is happening, and I just did not feel the weight of the epicness of the story because they leaned, I think, far too heavily on the slapstick comedy. And so that was kind of my big problem with Thor Ragnarok. But what definitely gives Thor Ragnarok the edge is Thor and Hulk. The whole Planet Hulk plot that they did in Thor Ragnarok, I really did enjoy. It was cool just to see Thor and Hulk team up, as well as meeting Valkyrie. When it comes to Justice League, it loses its edge because every time I watch that movie, I just see the potential of what it could be, and I see it just not really reaching that potential. I love the cast of Justice League. I thought it was a tremendous cast that worked incredibly well together. I love the heroes of the Justice League, but you have that villain, poor Steppenwolf, just like unrendered. Yeah, you have Henry Cavill's mustache. How can you not bring that up now every single time we talk about Justice League? It's just a wee bit embarrassing, especially for me, a DC fan who loves Man of Steel, and we have this stupid mustache debacle. So, it's not that Justice League was a terrible movie. It's not. It's just, you can definitely see the wasted potential. You can definitely see what this movie could have been, especially when you go to BVS and you see the groundwork for other things laid that just got cut off, and it's like, okay, well, I wish at least we could have continued that. But anyway, I'll get more into that later. Point is that's kind of where it is. Thor Ragnarok gets the edge for me because I do like Thor and Hulk and Valkyrie and Loki and all that. Like, great cast all mixed in there together. And so Ragnarok gets the edge. Number 25, The Incredible Hulk. 24, Iron Man 2. 23, Iron Man 3. 22, Ant-Man and the Wasp. 21, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Coming in at 20 is Captain Marvel. 19, Captain America, the First Avenger. 18, Ant-Man. 17, Thor. 16 Spider-Man Far From Home, and 15 Shazam. I put these movies like really close together intentionally because they do kind of have a similar feel to me. I mean, it's high school kids getting superpowers. And I know when I was in high school, I dreamed of getting superpowers. I love Spider-Man Homecoming. I think that movie is just fantastic. I love that kind of John Hughes feel that that movie has to it. I just think that movie is so much fun. But I also think Shazam is so much fun. The reason I gave Shazam the edge over Spider-Man in this ranking is because what I liked about Shazam is it kind of just brought home that feeling of wanting to be a superhero when I was a teenager. Because here you have this teenager who gets superpowers and transforms into an adult. And here's Zachary Levi just doing a great job playing a character who is really a kid, but looks like an adult and has the full potential of the powers that Shazam should have, and now has to live up to that full potential. So I liked it. I liked the message that was in the movie. I liked him rising to his full potential, but I loved the fun, the absolute fun of this kid becoming a superhero. Like when I was a kid and I dreamed of being a superhero, it's like I got that with this movie and I got brought back to that feeling and that nostalgia. Number 14, Batman vs. Superman. I surprised myself in this ranking because in my DCEU ranking, Shazam was above BVS. But now I have BVS above Shazam. And I think it's because recently when I rewatched the DCEU, man, I'm looking at all the potential that is in that movie, all the seeds that they sowed that just got cut off, and all the reactionary treatment of Justice League. I feel like if we got not just the Snyder cut of Justice League, but the actual two-part Justice League that was announced to us, a lot of that groundwork laid, a lot of the seeds that were sown in BVS would have grown to fruition in those two movies, and it would have given us so much payoff. For instance, the huge nightmare vision in BVS, that is a very cool sequence. It's also kind of jarring and it's very confusing. So I go online, I research all of this stuff. I've read things from it was Darkseid broadcasting this into Bruce's mind, showing him the future so that he'll turn against Superman, which will turn, be part of the thing that turns Superman against the world and so on and so forth. Read things like when the Flash came back in time, it was a temporal displacement, and in that temporal displacement, he saw his future, which increased the fear. Either way, what I like about that nightmare vision is it increases his fear of Superman and his determination to take out Superman, and it kind of fuels that powerlessness that he's feeling. But how cool would it have been to see that whole nightmare vision come to fruition in a whole two-part Justice League thing? And so that's what I feel like too when I watch Batman vs. Superman. A lot of groundwork laid, a lot of seeds sown, and we never got to see those seeds grow. We never really got to see those go anywhere. So it kind of leaves it in kind of this jarring position, and it would have been cool to have gotten a little bit more. It also would have been cool to like get a solo Batman movie before Batman vs. Superman, and so we could have like seen Batman kind of go on this arc and so on and so forth. I don't know. Point is I feel like Batman vs. Superman suffers from feeling a little bit rushed, like rushing the Doomsday storyline and things like that. But overall, I think if we got a two-part Justice League, maybe we would have seen a lot of things justified. So I feel like I see potential and good groundwork laid, and I just feel like it got cut off tragically. Number 13, Iron Man. 12, the first Avengers. 11, Avengers Age of Ultron. Here we go, the top 10. Number 10, Black Panther. Number 9, Aquaman. A lot of people are comparing Black Panther and Aquaman, a hidden technological city and a fight for the throne against, a blood relative that actually also has a claim to that throne. You know what? It's comic books. There's definitely going to be similarities there, and I love Black Panther. I thought Black Panther was a fantastic movie. I actually got kind of like a cool Lion King vibe from it, and I really did enjoy that movie. But there's something about Aquaman that I just had a lot of fun with Aquaman. I love Jason Momoa as that character. I love visiting that underworld city of Atlantis. I love that King Arthur plotline that they threw in there with his name being Arthur and being worthy to take the trident the way Arthur was worthy to pull the sword from the stone. So there was a lot of really cool things on Aquaman that made it different enough from Black Panther that I was like, yeah, no, they're totally different things, and I enjoyed them both. The edge for me just goes a little bit to Aquaman. Number 8, Doctor Strange. 7, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. 6, Captain America, Civil War, and 5, Wonder Woman. Hitting this top 5 is where it gets really hard, and then trying to rank epic movies like Civil War, The Winter Soldier, Wonder Woman, and Man of Steel, plus these last 2 Avenger movies, It was incredibly difficult. But this is where it is. I have Captain America Civil War and a slight edge to Wonder Woman. There was just something powerful and the message of Wonder Woman for me that kind of just spoke to me, and I enjoyed it. Sure, Wonder Woman's got kind of a Captain America, the first Avenger vibe, maybe mixed with a little bit of Thor, but I really liked the way they told the story in Wonder Woman. Now, I love the way they told it in Civil War, so combining these two together has been kind of difficult, but really fun, and really fun to think about this. So I'm curious to get your ranking in the comments below. Number 4, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Number 3, Man of Steel. There's a little bit of bias there because Superman is my absolute favorite superhero, but what I enjoyed about Winter Soldier and Man of Steel was taking these superheroes and kind of putting them more in a grounded universe. Sure, Captain America has already been through the first Avenger movie and stuff like that and fought aliens by the time we get here to the Winter Soldier, but still, the Winter Soldier had a very grounded spy genre feel that just happened to have a superhero in it, and I loved the grounded feel and the grounded take of Man of Steel of what would it really be like if a Superman existed in our world and other Supermen came from another planet, another star, and came here to find this guy. So I don't know, I thought it was interesting, and so I feel like those two fit comfortably next to each other, and I give the edge a little bit to Man of Steel. Coming in at number 2, Avengers Infinity War, and number 1, Avengers Endgame. Now, I still might be having a ton of hype because I just saw Endgame. I mean, that could be honestly what's going on here, but I loved that movie. Sure, I recognize certain flaws and certain plot holes, but I don't like to call them plot holes. I like to call them plot opportunities. We could fill in the blanks with our awesome imaginations, and who knows, plot opportunities, because maybe as we continue on with future MCU movies, they'll, take advantage of some of those plot opportunities that have been opened up as a result of Endgame. But I really did enjoy Endgame. It is here at my number 1. It's ultimately right now my favorite superhero movie. I need to see this movie again. I mean, so we'll see what time does, but right now, man, I love this movie, and I'm excited to put it here at number 1. So there it is, my ranking of these 29 superhero movies, taking the Infinity Saga and the DCEU, these two superhero cinematic universes, and ranking them together. What did you think of this ranking, and how would you rank it differently? Rank these 29 movies in the comments below how you would do it, and I cannot wait to have an epic conversation with you. And let's keep it epic. I mean, we all love our superheroes, but we can still have different opinions and be polite about it in the comments. So let's do that and have that conversation. And while you're down there in those comments, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for my next ranking video, movie review, theological analysis, trailer reaction, or anything else I do here. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.